And we're back. Welcome to Arcanum. Um, I've looked a bit into things. We got some quests pending. We have to find the White Church murderer. We're going to have to go to Toronto to speak with the demonologist. And to, I guess, to find out who was the guy communicating with the butler in the case of Lillian Misk and the book Horror Among the Dark Elves. Finding a cure for Cynthia Witt's werewolf curse. That's not for a bit. And there's also the Crawling Masters quest. The clue we found said look closely near the beast with 4 legs but 1 foot. I didn't understand what that means, but apparently what that means is the bed in the room. Hello, can you please go elsewhere? Thank you. Here we go. Eyeglasses. Now enhance your gift of sight to make old paintings new and bright. There is this painting we can interact with. I guess we need to use these glasses. Wearing the glass and examining the painting has revealed a map beneath a transparent layer of paint. You have marked a mysterious location on your map. Okay. I already know where the guy is. And apparently we don't need to follow all the clues to find him, but let's do this quest the proper way. We'll head out for that location. We have to leave Caledon soon anyway. But there's a few more things we want to do before that. What do you want? What are you doing here? You're working for them, aren't you? Working for who? He says nothing for a moment, his eyes darting from side to side. Perhaps looking for the best escape route. You know who. The day has finally come, is that it? Arthur Tyron has become too dangerous to be allowed to stay alive. You're Arthur Tyron? De Cesar sent me. He grabbed you. The skulls. Have you brought the skulls? Yep, here they are. He examines them with barely contained excitement. Yes, yes. It is all coming together now. What is? I have uncovered the plot, the ramifications of which could bring down the government of Toronto. But I will need your help to finish my work. Is that so? His eyes dart around the room again, suspiciously. Haven't you ever wondered where all these half-ogres are coming from? 100 years ago, a half-ogre was a rare thing. Usually the result of raping and pillaging. But human women aren't equipped to birth a baby the size of a half-ogre. That is rather strange. I'd never thought of it before. He leans in close to you, intensity dripping from his brow. They are breeding them. They've enslaved women and are forcing them to mate with ogres, I tell you. Who is? Who's doing this? The gnomes. The gnomes of the Industrial Council in Toronto. Haven't you ever noticed that every gnome seems to have at least 1 or 2 half-ogres always following him around? They're breeding them for protection. How did you find out about all of this? Oh, I've been on the trail a long time. I have. And now that you have brought me the skulls, I'm ready to close in and grab the proof I need to expose them. It's just that, well, I'm not much in the way of physical prowess. I need someone I can trust to collect the evidence for me, as I don't think I would survive. It is sure to be a treacherous endeavor. What does all this have to do with the skulls? The Siamese twins were the result of their first twisted breeding experiment. They tried to breed elves with orcs to produce a breed of extremely strong, resilient mages that they could then control. This was before it was obvious that technology would one day rule Arcanum, of course. So what happened? The twins were the only viable offspring to come from those experiments. They were scheduled to be put to death, but they disappeared from the laboratory before their termination could take place. They appeared in high society some 20 years later. We believe they must have been under the protection of a powerful ally of ours on the council for them to have survived that long. Who is this ally of yours? No one knows. I have communicated with him in the past through codes in the newspaper and other surreptitious means. I could possibly help you. What would I need to do? Through my research, I've discovered the most likely location for this breeding facility is a small island I've dubbed Half Ogre Island near Thanatos. You would need to find a way into their laboratories to bring me some sort of evidence I can use to expose them to the world. Why not have de Cesar do it? Sir, Mr. de Cesar is dead. Really? He was fine when we last saw him. Well then, I suppose I have no choice then, do I? Excellent. Let me mark your map with the location of the island. And don't speak with anyone about this. It could be unhealthy for you and me. Agreed, I shall return with your proof. And who are you? My name is Adam Maxwell, and who are you? My name is Martini Kaboom. Well, what do you want? Do you have a job I could do? Ah, member of the underground. I thought I recognized your name. As a matter of fact, we do have an order that needs filling. Are you available? That depends on the job. The home of the widower Misk, located here in Caledon, contains an extensive library of rare and unusual books that belong to a recently deceased husband. One of our clients wishes to obtain a volume that is of particular interest to him. It's a very old tome entitled Divinations and Magics for the Adept Wizard. Can you retrieve it for me? That depends. What am I getting? It's not a large job, however, the client is paying top dollar. 250 coin acceptable? Deal. And you? You've got a trapdoor. May I ask your name? That is simple enough. I am Daniel McPherson, master at trap arming and disarming. Perhaps you have heard of my legendary reputation. Ah yes, your skill is legendary. What do you do in Caledon? I own and operate the largest security operation in the kingdom. Even the royal palace is on contract with me. Perhaps you have heard of the notorious J.T. Morgan, whose mastery lies in picking a lock. Well, one of my traps was responsible for his capture when he tried to illegally gain entrance to the palace several months ago. I am the best in the business. Impressive. It must be quite an honor to be in such a demand. Yes, and it is my responsibility to ensure that we remain the best. Being a master at trap armament and disarmament, I am able to train our staff in techniques that our competition has no knowledge of. How did you become so specialized? In my younger days, I was quite a scamp. I was always sneaking around, getting into places I should not have. I never really stole anything. I enjoyed the thrill gained in accessing a forbidden area. This is how I gained knowledge to work my way around all manner of traps. I have knowledge of things most experts have never even dreamt. How do you stay in top form now that you have matured? To keep myself in top condition and make sure my services remain in demand, I have constructed a trap maze in the basement beneath my home here. It is quite ingenious, really. To make it exceptionally challenging, I filled it with every technological trap available on the market, plus a few of my own devious inventions. I am sure your maze assists greatly in training your staff. I don't usually use it for training, because I don't have any safety mechanisms in place. It is a very deadly exercise, although I must say, it certainly has kept me in tip-top shape. What would you require to train me as a master? Well, I see that you have already become an expert. If you would like to become a master at arming and disarming traps, I will train you. However, as I have said, I am incredibly busy at the moment, working the palace on their new security requirements. I would normally test you myself, but due to my schedule constraints, I am forced to offer you an alternative. I respect your unavailability. What is your alternative? If you can successfully traverse the entire trap maze that I have created in my basement, I will grant you master status. But be aware of the dangers in this task and the risk to your life, should you choose to accept it. I want to take the challenge. I admire your desire to learn. You are already an expert, which is very commendable. However, before you can start your training as a master, you must improve your skills. Come back and see me then. I shall improve and promptly return, Daniel. Let's see. Oh, we're still a ways off. Yeah. But we can become a master at spotting traps already. Okay. We know where he is now. Here's a wise lady. Halfling villager. That's not a halfling. She can identify the beings. Leonor's legume of life and longevity. Magic full heal or resurrect. I don't know if they'll work on me. Because I'm full technology. Anyway. I don't think we need to go to the museum just yet. Let's see if we can find a boat that will take us to Afogre Island. I'm looking for passage to Afogre Island. Okay, 400 coins. It's expensive, but it's the only way to get here. Oh, tigers. Wilderness traders, even here. They're everywhere. Two points. One into prowling. And I guess we can start building up disarm traps. Beaver beast. They're not very strong. Weird. There's nothing on the island. Unless I'm actually supposed to just follow this road. Yeah, okay. That was dumb. Ew. So this is what Epstein Island looks like. Amazing. Potion of paralysis. Oh my god. Considering what was going on in this place? Ugh. Experiment 1004A, Section 5. The male human, female half-vulgar coupling producing offspring seems to be an extremely rare occurrence and cannot be depended on for significant numbers. The female human male half-vulgar experiments fare much better, but with 100% loss of host. Yeah, if they could just do it with female ogres, it would still be creepy, but a little less so. Experiment 1008.5 CE Section 2, our rate of experimentation has increased, with a new influx of the female subjects from the lower part of society. Ugh. These guys were some real grade A a-holes. These new hosts cannot even be relied upon to go to term, being in such poor health, suffering from common ailments those living in this manner are subject to. A healthier source of subject would help immensely, as I have some new surgical ideas I would like to implement. But the subjects I have to work with would not hold up under the knife. Experiment 1015E, Section 1. The new surgical techniques we are applying have reduced the numbers of fatalities by removing the unborn before term. The hosts seem to be viable for 3 harvests before their bodies fail. Subnote 1. Some of my less dedicated colleagues have had to be dismissed as they were expressing doubts about our new female host. I have no such compunctions. Once they are here, they are a number to me and nothing more. Scientific advancement would never occur if the weak-willed were to have their way. So one thing about this whole quest line, it is a very controversial one amongst the fans of this game, and I can see why. The subject matter is horrific, and what's worse, this whole thing seems to tie to an uncomfortably large level with anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. The gnomes are tiny little people who control a vast amount of wealth in society, and they're doing these horrific breeding experiments. Yeah, sound familiar? I'm not saying that the staff at Troika Games are anti-Semitic, but it is possible that one of the writers on this game had opinions and managed to sneak this quest line into the game without anyone else noticing. So I guess I am saying at least some of the staff in Troika Games is anti-Semitic. I have no way of knowing, obviously. But that's what it comes off as. It just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Let's go back. The excuse, as I hear it, is that this is supposed to be a reference to the X-Files. The game came out in the 90s, and the X-Files were a very popular TV show at that time. And the typical formula of an X-Files episode is that the protagonists usually are never able to reveal anything. All episodes have an anticlimactic ending, that all of their evidence disappears without them being able to show it to anyone. And that's pretty much how this questline ends, because, yep, Arthur Tyron is gone, and there's a gnome waiting for us. So, yeah. He's gone. Now, according to the notes I've read from the Car Arcanum mod that I've installed, the questline is supposed to have a different ending, but I don't know what the author means by that. I am glad you are here. You were working with Tyron, were you not? Who are you? Where is Tyron? I do not know. I was meant to meet him here. We were to exchange information. Oh, really? And what information would that be? Information that is dangerous to possess? I've been on the same search as Tyron and his colleagues, but I believe I have gone much deeper. What have you discovered? I should be asking you that. You have recently acquired something, damning to certain parties, have you not? Perhaps. Ah, I see you are wary. That is smart, as the trail we are following is a dangerous one. He thinks for a moment. Very well. I will share with you the information I have gathered, and you can decide for yourself whether to believe me or not. I'm not certain how much of it I believe myself, but this is what I found out. I'm listening. About 55 years ago, a group of gnomes from various parts of Arcanum began to acquire large amounts of money from investments in the new technology. As their wealth and perceived influence began to grow, age-old prejudices began to surface. Gnomes were thought to be miserly thieves. The other races did not trust them to gain power. There were thefts, beatings, and threats, mysterious letters in the night, warning the little gnomes to keep to their place. The gnomes tried human bodyguards, to no avail. Any human that would be a bodyguard to a gnome at that time was, by definition, an untrustworthy, shiftless sort. At first they tried, unsuccessfully, to breed elves and orcs into some bestial magic hybrid to do their bidding. The Siamese twins. It kind of already says a lot about them that they would resort to this. Exactly, but you know all about what happened with them now, don't you? It was a foolhardy idea to begin with, at any rate. Orcs have a natural dislike for gnomes, and the gnomes needed something much more docile. I'm listening. The next obvious choice seemed to be the half-ogres. Tired of being hunted, and the promise of large amounts of food gained the gnomes extremely loyal bodyguards. But there was a problem. An half-ogre was a very rare thing in those days, and with good scientific reasons for being so. And the gnomes without bodyguards were used as leverage against those protected. The greatest concentration of these gnomes were in Tarant, which was still a monarchy at the time. They pleaded with the king for his help, but the last thing the king wanted was a group of rich banker gnomes with power in his kingdom. The beatings continued, and the king and his court turned a blind eye to their plight. That was when, well, let's call him Mr. X, decided to act. Who's Mr. X? Yes, he hired a prostitute to go home with him one evening, and he locked her in his basement, where he also happened to be keeping a full-blooded ogre. You can imagine what happened then. She died giving birth, as was to be expected, but Mr. X now had his future bodyguard. He recruited some other gnomes, and the kidnappings began in earnest. What happened then? For safety's sake, they set up a breeding laboratory on the island you visited. Their plan wasn't working out as well as they had hoped, as the women all died giving birth. And the more prostitutes that disappeared, the more the authorities were looking into their affairs. They decided to try surgical means of delivery, but the women were too sickly to survive that. Go on. This is when the king's hirelings discovered what was happening. Unfortunately for the king, though, the gnomes had become incredibly rich in this time. Rich enough, in fact, to purchase the king's murder and the kidnapping of the queen and their young son. Rumors began circulating immediately, pointing to the queen as the killer of her husband. The queen was brought to the island, wasn't she? Yes. She was the patient in the first successful operation. She mothered 3 before she passed, I believe. Soon after the Industrial Council gained power in Tarant, the disappearances of prostitutes began to slow down, but a mysterious rash of disappearances of the wives and daughters of the political enemies of the council began. That is horrible. They only lasted for a short time, however, as they had now bred enough half-ogre females to no longer need to rely on human breeders. They have hundreds of them now, kept in cages on the breeding farm somewhere. They keep this whole thing in a cloud of mystery by releasing half-truths, lies, and even real information through unstable individuals like Tyron, so no one believes any of it. Exactly. Everyone believes it to be the imaginings of madmen and paranoids. Is this all true? That's a good question. We must not be too anxious to believe it because we want it to be true, or too anxious to disbelieve it because we want it to be false. We must remain neutral in our decision as to whether it is true or not. That's absurd. It's either true or it isn't. Then none of it is true. Well, maybe some of it. I'll bring proof to the press. I'll expose this whole thing. What do you have? Nothing. You have a journal that was left for you to find on purpose, which could have been written last week. What have you seen? Why, I believe you saw an abandoned warehouse, nothing more. Say what your twisted imagination made it out to be. Why are you doing this? We always need more comforts to spread the word. You might have had real information, but now you don't know anything. What have I told you that is real? Feel free to tell anyone everything I have told you. I am sure the press would love to hear your story. Perhaps. Good day to you, madam. It has been a pleasure. Does he have anything on him? Nope. Well, I don't know what the mod maker meant by a more satisfying end to the story. Still seems to be the same. I don't think there really is anything we can do with the journal. That's just how it is. Time to leave the city, but there's still something over here that we want to investigate. Over along the shoreline. Yep, a shipwreck. Wine glass, music box. I'm guessing we can sell these. I don't think we need to carry this one around. Sword, small steam engine. Ooh la la. I'll have to hand some stuff over to you. for safekeeping. Water? Not interested. Lots of wine. Actually, wait a minute. There's a chest of gold. Ooh. Rusty axe, metal boot. And unidentified armor. Fine stout boots. I think these ones will be better for him. Yep.
What is it that you want? What is it that you...
Let's see. What can we hand you to hold on to? This, I guess. This. And this. I am significantly encumbered. Can barely move.
What is it that you want to...
He doesn't want to carry this item. Understandable.
What is it that you want?
Can we hand him anything else? Oh, he likes that sword better. Ah. Well, okay, sure. And the jacket. I don't know why. It's not better. Anything else super heavy we might want to give him? The reanimator. Okay, that lets us run again. Capacitor. That's about it. A mysterious location discovered on the wall painting in the mushroom. Okay, let's take a looky-loo. Brute Fang, level 35. Okay, so the point here is sneaking. But we don't have the patience for that, so we're just gonna go in killing. Rusty sword, rusty dagger. Cobblestone. Here we go. There is a note whose secrets shine bright when viewed beside the mushroom's bright firelight. Your race is nearly won. Here's a name that you seek, the Master Prowler I am called, Albert Leek. A rhyme for the name of a place so near. I am waiting your visit. Come find me here. Use a knife to slice my head. Weep beside me when I am dead. So he is in the tavern called the Sobbing Onion. Now, which one of these guys is Albert Leek? Could I ask your name? My father gave me an elven name, but its pronunciation is much too difficult for the other races of this fair city to master. So I simply go by AL. What might your name be? Certainly, AL. My name is Martini Kaboom. Well, Martini Kaboom, what can I do for you? Does AL by any chance stand for Albert Leek, Master Prowler? Why, grinning broadly, yes I am. Good show. Do you realize you are the first person to ever make it to me? I pray your little adventure was not too difficult. It was quite challenging, actually. I am impressed to see you were up to the challenge. My purpose was to impart to you the knowledge that the best place to hide yourself is often in plain sight. Is it, though? That was your big secret? Can I get trained now? In finding me, you have proven that you are truly a master in the art of prowling. I hereby award you the title Master Prowler. In addition, I have a little something to assist you in your endeavors. What is it? It is a magical ring. When worn, you will be able to move about more silently. Use it well. I bid you good travels, Master. My thanks, Albert. You truly are a great master. Yep, Master Prowler. That's me. And we have the Ring of Silence. Sweet. I wish the game would actually tell us what each of the levels, Apprentice, Expert, Master, gives you. Because they modify quite a few things. But the game itself doesn't really seem to show you. You have to look up the wiki or information online. And I don't feel like doing that now. Let's identify some stuff. This. Poison plate mail. Yeah. Good thing I didn't put it on. Let's see if we can sell it somewhere. So I don't have to lug it around. $160 coins for it. Not much, but it is a pretty crappy item, so Really, what did we expect?
What is it that you want of me?
Now... Hand over the goodies. He doesn't want any of this. I guess this is the fence for the Thieves Guild. Or not. I am Ryan Sanders. And who might you be, madam? I am Martini Kaboom, a new arrival in this fine land. Well, what do you want, Martini Kaboom? I am looking for work. Have you any problems that need solving? Problem? Ha! The only problem I have is my father. I doubt there's much you can do about that. Your father, why is he a problem? My father is Jonathan Sanders. I'm sure you've heard of him. Waits for you to be suitably impressed. He is the largest landowner in all of Caledon. The Sanders name has been one of power and influence for generations. And that's a problem? It didn't used to be. He was always a strong, ruthless businessman. People feared him. His power and influence were a force to be reckoned with. Was? What's different now? He had an accident about a year ago. It almost killed him, under his breath. Too bad it didn't. Brings his attention back to you. Ever since then, he's become a changed man. Changed? He wishes to be kind. It is pathetic. He goes out of his way to help the weak, forgives debt, even gives our riches away. He has actually told me that our family history is shameful. I can barely stomach the sight of him these days. That is quite the change. He must have been very traumatized. He is squandering a fortune that is rightfully mine. He has no right to give away what should be mine. None. If it were me, I would put a stop to his actions. Looks at you thoughtfully, as if assessing your abilities. Perhaps I do have a job for you. Are you implying what I think you are? If you have surmised that I would like you to arrange a little something for my father, you are correct. This would benefit you greatly. Yes, it would. A malicious grin spreading across his face. I would expect appropriate compensation. And what would one consider appropriate for such arrangements? I believe 1,000 would cover it. 1,000? That is a little expensive, don't you think? You are asking a great deal, and have much to gain. Looks thoughtful for a moment. Yes, I see what you mean. Very well. 1,000. but I want the arrangements handled quickly. Return to me when you are finished, and you will be compensated for your services. Do we have an understanding? We do. I shall return shortly. Goodbye, Mr. Sanders. Okay. We got a quest to help a kind old man kick the bucket. We're not gonna do it just yet. Later, maybe. For now, let's head to Toronto. We're gonna zigzag a bit because I'm hoping to find a certain location. I also don't want to take the boat back. I want to find Gorgot's Pass. Oh, what's this? Light control. Easy. Boars, also easy. What level am I now? 45. No sign of the place I wanted to find. These guys never want to buy anything. I'm also trying to find Gorgot Pass, which is somewhere around here. Thieves' Cave. Interesting, but not what I want. I'm gonna have to bring up my phone. I know Gorgot's Pass is somewhere around here. Do we need to have someone tell us about it before we can find it? Yeah, no, it's right over here. Aha, found it. Very good. Now, the other location I was trying to find. Let's see the exact coordinates. Over here. Ah, come on. Damn it. The dog died. Well, now, how do I use this? I don't know how to... We'll have to use the
What is it
reanimator.
that you
Dang. Which means we'll then have to make another one. This is what happens when you don't save. But at least I got a level up. Let's put one more point in perception. Or maybe something else. Perception is fine for now. Here we go. Bolo's altar. Bolo, clever thief. Progo, watchful eye. Shadow now, here now gone. Arm now, here now gone. Bolo, face of pain. Progo, face of rage. Soul now, here now gone. Progo now, here now gone. Bolo, god of thieves. One armed god of thieves. This ring now, here now gone. Your blessing, now here, now here. So this is the next god whose blessing we need for the Ancient Gods quest. Very nice. Looks like we got beauty. I'm not sure. Anyway, we got it. Now we can go to Gorgot Pass. Not this time. Goddess Geshtiana Divine Charm. Unidentified armor. Metal boots. Yeah. We're not taking this. We're too overloaded already. We will have to come back to this pass at some point. Because we have to go back to Caledon. And because one of the altars is here,
What is it that you...
Hmm. You dropped the sword. Yeah, the divine sword is broken. It was worth a lot of money. I should have sold it. Oh well. And we're through. Hopefully the monsters don't respawn. Let's stop by Shrouded Hills. I need Doc to heal my scar. Oop. Okay. So it looks like I have nothing he wants. Which is a shame. Just 2 coins for the glasses. Shouldn't have bothered. Medical arachnid? Sure, you can have it. Perfect. I'm reminded of something. We also need to find the spot trap expert. Master, I mean. Have we already found him? Here we go. Frederick T. Fitzgerald can give me master training in spot trap. He has a room in the Bridesdale Inn in Toronto. That's exactly where we're going. How fortuitous. Okay, first things first. Let's unload our extra equipment. He insists he's not a fence, so he won't buy this one. Fine.
What is it that...
The Stillwater blade broke. That is unfortunate. Is there any other weapon I can make for Virgil? I could give him the charged blade. That's a thing. Let me check my recipes. How can I make another reanimator? Need a large capacitor. Don't have it.
What is it that you want?
Or better yet, I could give him the filament sword.
What is it that you want?
I guess the guy isn't here. He must only come here at night, I guess. We need a Clarendon rifle for the repeater. I'm not sure if it's worthwhile. I think we can just come here at night and steal Clarendon. We don't absolutely need to buy it. This is a good way to test this out. We'll come back in the middle of the night, try and steal it. Let's see if we can find a large capacitor. I can. Now, let's remember what we came here for. We have to find the demonologist and the guy we're looking for, Burbottom, Elmer Burbottom. Let's also take the herbology manuals. 20, 14, 16, 18, boom, 90. We got it. Still moderately encumbered. That's a shame. It's the spider, I guess. $1,000 stones. Yeah, that's heavy. I really should remember to use the spider. I mean, it's in my inventory for a reason. Now, let's do repairs. The pyrotechnic axe is fine. This one's fine, fine. Fine. There's no issues here.
What is it that you want?
The filament sword is damaged.
What is it that you want?
There. Done. Boom. Okay, we need to hit up the university. And the Hall of Public Records to find Burbottom. Are you able to help me locate an individual? May I have the individual's name? Elmer Burbottom. Let's see. She looks through her records. I do have a street address for Mr. Burbottom, but it's in Ashbury. It's 14 Trellis Way. Okay. So we have to go to Ashbury. 14 Trellis Way. By the way, Brummond, Loris Brummond. The name we saw on that grave Virgil visited. Hold on a moment, she looks through her files. Yes, I do have something here on a Lawrence Brummond, though he's not a citizen of Toronto. The newspaper article. Here's a copy for you. Caledonian man brutally murdered. Upstanding citizen survived only by his brother. Local gentleman Lawrence Brummond was found dead in his apartment last evening, the victim of a brutal beating by one or more assailants. Currently, police have no suspects in the case. It's downright puzzling, said Detective William Prescott. Nothing out of the apartment was stolen, and there was plenty to steal. From what we have pieced together, Mr. Brummond was a very upstanding citizen from a well-respected family here in Caledon. Somebody took a dislike to him, and we aim to find out who and why. Police are investigating various rumors that the murder is in some way connected to the Caledon crime ring, purportedly headquartered in the Sobbing Onion Tavern, but no substantial evidence has yet been found. Mr. Brummond is survived only by his brother Virgil, who the police are still trying to contact. We're hoping he might know something about the whole affair. We've had some trouble finding him. Yeah. Wanna say anything about this, Virgil?
What can I answer for you?
Yep, no, he doesn't want to talk about it. So his brother was killed by the Thieves Guild, apparently. The very Thieves Guild we're working for. That's gotta sting. Which one of these was the demonologist? It's not this guy. What may I do for you? I need information about Lanamelak. He seems overjoyed to see you. Oh, an half-orc. I get so few opportunities to study those of your type. May I examine your head? We've already been through this. I need some information. He seems truly upset by your remark. So few people understand the true advances the sciences can offer. You are a scientician? I thought you studied magic and demons. I am a scholar, involved in research. Magic and science are the opposite sides of the same coin. To be truly knowledgeable, one must study a tremendous variety of things. Specialization is for insects and orcs. Dude. Come on now. What can you tell me of the demon? It's very important. Yes, it is. Why do you persist in mucking about? This is serious business. I believe he is the White Church murderer. I had my suspicions those murderers were demonic in nature, but I never suspected Lanamelak. This is bad news indeed. Why is this so bad? Lanamelak is one of the few demons that has the ability to possess a living being. As such, he can move among us undetected. In days of old, human sacrifices of thousands of victims were required to satiate him once he was summoned. He will be with us for a long time if we do not stop him. He was summoned here to what end? That is a long story. Let us simply say that the summoner is paying the penance for the summoning. He is the beast's present host and has been for the past 500 years. I bet that elf wishes he was possessed of a shorter lifespan now. How did it come to possess this elf? As I said, it is a long story, but I think I have... yes, here it is. The Legend of Terre de Vent. You can read the demon story in here. I'm afraid to ask, but how do I kill it? You must stab it through the heart with the blade of Xerxes. Let me guess, it's in a dungeon somewhere guarded by demons. Not just any dungeon. The Pit of Fires deep within the Stonewall Mountains. Forged deep within the underworld by fire demons. It is the only weapon in Arcanum that can be guaranteed to strike the demon down. If one was to try to defeat the demon with anything but the blade, it would be disastrous indeed. Why? If the blade is plunged into the heart of the host, the demon will be sent back to the underworld as the unfortunate host dies. If he is killed by any other method, the demon shall be loosed from the confines of his host, and he will be virtually unstoppable. So where in the Stonewall Mountains is the Pit of Fires? It's simple to find, really. The entrance is a bit southwest of the... No, that's not the best way. It's a bit west of... Here, let me mark your map. It will be simpler that way. This ought to be interesting. Good day. So, the Inspector Chief is very genre savvy. He knew pretty much from the get-go how this story was going to go. Okay. Not what I expected. Shit. It's jammed. Whoops. That's a lot of money. Something tells me I shouldn't have done that. But now it's too late. He's dead. Oopsie. Still no sign of the guy. I'll have to look up where to find him. Hey, at least we got a bunch of money out of it. That's pretty cool. I really need to become a master lockpicker. Getting locks jammed is just so incredibly annoying. Let's take a look at the legend of Terdvant, the demon Lanamlak. When the War of Thorns ended in 1385, King Wallace IV had accomplished something heretofore unimaginable. He had unified the scattered countries of the central continent under his banner. Terre de Vent, or as we now know it now, Tarant. Peace reigned in Tardvent for an unheard of 25 years until a wave of strange behavior seemed to overtake the king. The king's trusted elven mage, Vincent, whose real name has been lost to history, suspected demonic possession. This suspicion was born out when the king started calling for virgin sacrifices to supply him with a steady diet of human hearts. Unbeknownst to Vincent, the king had begun toying with the dark powers in a misguided attempt to make himself more youthful. Unwittingly, he had unleashed the demon Lanamlak, the possessor. Vincent was powerful, but immature and untested. Being overly sure of his abilities, he exorcised the demon himself, without much preparation. The beast tore the king's body apart as it was pulled from its host. Try as he might, the mage was unable to contain it. It ran amok over the countryside, killing hundreds of the king's loyal citizens. Vincent acted without hesitation. There was only one way he knew to hope to contain the beast. He began preparations to bind it to another mortal body, his own. This was not an easy task, as once unleashed, Lanamlak would do everything in his power to keep his freedom. Vincent's gambit was at most a limited success. After he himself had been possessed, he was, amazingly enough, able to have a slight modicum of control over the beast. For a time, the evils of the demon seemed to be being wrought on those of an evil heart, but eventually Vincent was to lose control of the demon. The beast raged across the continent, killing all in his path. His bloody trail finally ended in Caledon, however. It would appear that Vincent was able to gain control over the beast long enough to drag himself underground and use his magics to collapse the tunnels. Neither demon nor mage has been seen since. It seems that Vincent sacrificed himself in order to bring the beast back to the underworld. For that, Arcanum owes him a debt of gratitude. Were the demon to ever return to this world, those who would fight it must remember this. It is not to be killed with anything other than the blade of Xerxes, which is buried in the pit of fires deep within the Stonewall Mountains. If the demon struck down with anything but this blade, he will be unleashed upon the world, free of his human host. Super bad if that happens. Okay, we get it. Let's take an electrolyte, drop the wine. I was hoping that was the guy, but no, it didn't go in. I just don't know where he is. But we can find him later. No rush, no hurry. Let's just go to Ashbury. Get that sorted out. We'll find Mr. Elmer. The boomerang barely deals any damage, even on these level 8 enemies. I really need to change back to using my gun. The gun was great. Boom. Disarm traps. We can now do that quest. We also need one of these. Let's take it. This must be... Whoa. Okay. Sir, what has happened here? I was attacked. I've been wounded. It hurts. Oh God, it hurts. Sir, who are you? How can I help? I am Kendrick. Kendrick Wales. Perhaps you've heard the book I wrote. The Curse of Tenang. Yes, I've read the book. That's why I'm here. What do you mean? Perhaps this isn't the best time, but I'm looking for Elmer Burbottom. Elmer Burbottom? He coughs up blood. Why are you looking for him? It seems he's involved in something I'm investigating. Tell him. Kendrick holds out his hand to you. Listen, friend, I don't have much time. The weapon used on me, I think it was magical. I can feel the light leaving me even now. He closes his eyes, his teeth clenching against the pain. I am Elmer Burbottom. You are? I don't understand. Kendrick Wales is merely my pen name. I don't think anyone would buy a book by someone named Elmer Burbottom. He laughs, cringing. It seems so trivial now. And so you paid Wesley the butler for the information. Yes, and now it seems that the death of Victor Minsk is on my head as well. It seems none of us can escape the curse. He looks up at you, fear in his eyes. Perhaps not even you. Kendrick, save your strength. I'll get some help. Sorry, my friend, I don't think there's anything to be done. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. Tell the widow Misk I'm sorry. Kendrick, hold on. Yeah, those dark elves. They're not playing. How about you, Theodore? Are you still scared of me? Oh no. Yeah, still. Oh, all of a sudden we... Okay. I don't get what happened here, honestly. I'm speechless. But okay, sure. If you'll take the mechanized plate back, we might as well go and fetch it. Oof. Super loaded. I have your armor. Here it is. And here are your 200 coins. Good day, madam. Appreciate it. Ah, much better. Okay, so next step, we should go to that Pit of Fire's place to get the Blade of Xerxes. We also need to go back to the place of lost voices. There's something we have to do there. There we go. Pit of Fires. But we'll leave that for next time. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.